All right. We're live on Hangouts so far. And that means gun channels. Just waiting for good old YouTube to catch up, as always. Always just dragging his ass, letting me down. I'm still not getting notifications of anything. Really pisses me off.
Join the
Come on.
club.
Damn. There we go. Damn.
Obviously, they don't give a shit if you're informed or not.
Well, I like to know when people I subscribe to come on. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Welcome, live from the crossroads of America, a 1 hour talk show. This is Shooting with Disabilities, but we will talk about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses our mind. We try to keep it on topic as best we can. We'll answer questions. Just put them in the chat box or email me at rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. We are broadcasting on gun channels and YouTube. I have a Patreon page, as you can see. It's listed there on my lower thirds, my Patreon page. I have a Spreadshirt page too. Just type in Rick's Life or Spotted Rick, and my stuff should come up. What else? Oh yeah, the audio file from this show and past shows are on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher. This one will be on within 24 hours of it ending tonight. So there we go. Now let's start with introduce my panel, my esteemed panel. Oh no, let's see who we got in the chat rooms first. Let's do that. We'll do YouTube first. We got Jason Stewart, John Brown Productions, Raphael are there, and who else we got? Night Strike's in there as well. So then on gun channels, we got Dead Horse, Sean Connery, David Bolin. All right, now we do my panel. We start with how it's lined up here for me. We start with, how you doing, Tony?
Hey, I'm good. I see how esteemed we are. We have to wait.
Yes. I'm glad you're back, though. I'm glad you're back. You know, no kids to interrupt us.
Yes, I'm glad of that one myself.
All right. Then next, Squib.
Hey.
Good. And we got the one and only Night Strike.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty steamed.
All right, we're getting to it.
Or was this esteemed? I don't know. I get the two mixed up.
Then we got the one and only, the Kingpin.
If Night Strike's pretty steamed, then I'm pretty est. Welcome back, Tony. Good to have you back, brother.
Thank you.
Then we've got Blind Shooter.
Hey, Rick. How you doing?
All right. I just want to put it out there that we won't be seeing Patriot in the Dark for a few shows. He says he has some issues he has to take care of, but if you want to talk to him, just drop him an email at patriotinthedark@gmail.com. So there we go. Just wanted to drop that out there in case anybody's asking where he is, because we all know he's the man, the myth, the legend, you know. So anyway, let's start. I got a couple of items here. That now that I was looking at the weather forecast for here in good old sunny southern Indiana. I mean, we're in the 80s now, and looking at the long-term forecast, that's the way it's going to be into whenever. So summer's here, I guess.
Welcome to my weather.
So what I was getting with this, you know, like getting ready to, you know, like I start wearing T-shirts, shorts, and stuff like that. So when I'm carrying, I always wear baggy clothes anyway, because as I said, during the summer, I normally mainly 99% of the time carry outside the waistband with a baggy shirt over here. Luckily, here in Indiana, once my permit arrives, I'm waiting. I keep checking every day and it hasn't arrived yet. But as soon as I get that permit in my hand, here in Indiana, as long as you got a permit, you can carry open anyway. So, which will make life easier, so I don't have to. But see, also what also I wear a lot of times, especially I normally early in the morning when it's still a bit cooler, I always wear my sort of like, oh look, he's carrying a gun vest on, you know, with all the pockets and stuff in it. I was wearing it at the NRA show. I don't know if everybody noticed me with my black vest on I had. So that's what I normally use. But where I was going with this is, so now like with me, because it's getting warmer, if I go shooting, I'm going to try to do it early in the morning before it gets too hot. Because even though I don't mind the warm weather, I don't like being out in the sun. I really don't. I have bad memories of being in. It was done here in Indiana when I was a young child. We went to some lake, and I can't remember where it was now. And I got so sunburnt that I had second-degree burns on my back and shoulders. And ever since then, I don't like being in the sun. I don't mind being in the heat as long as I'm in the shade. So, but this, most races I go to don't have shade.
Rick, I hate to be the ass, but I have to say this. Cry me a river. You don't have to deal with the humidity I have to deal with in South Carolina.
Now, you want to bet they have it here in Indiana.
It's worse here.
Well, that's your fault for being there.
It is, and it's your fault for being in Indiana where it's sunny.
Yeah, but I was just, hey,
if you don't want Florida, Rick, just move to Washington.
Hey, I don't want to be up there with Yankee.
For as much time as Europeans spend on vacation, they sure can't handle the sun very well.
No, we can't. We can't. It's weird, really. But see, I blame that on my British side.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because the British are always complaining about everything.
Yeah, we blame your British side too.
But where I'm going with this is, I'm doing this like, if my back is giving me a lot of trouble and using my scooter and stuff like this, what I was talking about is getting ready for the change in temperature what people carry. I mean, you change your firearm,
Nope.
to a lighter one or whatever, or a heavier one or whatever you want to do because it's summertime. That was the question I was throwing out there.
The only time I change my carry weapon is when I go hunting, because I'm not allowed to carry something that I can't hunt with. Or winds.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to say, I'm just going to say hi to PNW Woods has joined us. Grand Man's joined us. Unknown user. Who else? That's about it so far. Just wanted to mention that. All right. Squib, you got anything on that? Do you change guns or what you wear and all this and time you shoot?
I open carry. It doesn't matter to me.
You open carry all the time now?
No, it's just when I carry, I open carry. I don't carry all the time. There are people that I can't leave the house without a gun. Okay, I can, so I'm good. I don't care what you do. I just don't. When I had a concealed carry permit, I didn't conceal carry all the time. It's just not that big of a deal.
Well, that's another topic for another day. We got to discuss that. What's called? Ohio 45 ACP. If you use the code 20FREE on a purchase of $100 or more from now until 6/30, I think that's what it says. That's the month. That'd be June. Is that June 30th? As a member of Sportsman's Guide, you'll receive a $20 gift card, courtesy of Gun Funny Podcast. There you go. That's what you just type that into the chat.
There you go. That's $20 off that shield easy.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. Plus, I haven't bought any. I've been a member for a couple of months now. I still haven't bought anything, and I still have the discount they sent me in an email. to use
Yeah.
for my first purchase. So hell, I got this thing down to about $200 now, I think. Okay, Night Strike. Do you change guns or what you wear or time to go shooting or anything?
Well, I start when I got my permit. I started carrying my 1911, and you know how hard it is and how heavy it is to carry a full size 1911.
Yes.
Yeah. So concealing that's pretty hard. So, no, I got a P320 instead, and I switched that out from 40 to 357 SIG. I just use that, and if I need that to be thinner, then I'll just change the grip module, and there you go.
Okay.
Because I've got it with the medium grip module. I've been thinking about just going and getting a smaller, the small size grip module and being done with it.
All
Makes it a
right.
little thinner.
Yeah. Okay. How about shooting? Do you change the time you shoot for it's cooler or whatever?
Well, it gets really hot here most of the time, and I would prefer either if I have to shoot during the summer, probably earlier in the morning or later on in the evening when it cools down into the 70s. Otherwise, it's just way too hot to go out there in the middle of the day. You know,
Yeah.
if it's like 80, 82 or 85 degrees outside, no way in hell. I'm not going out in the heat.
All right. Oh, I want to say hi to Snob's wife, 76. She's in the chat room. All right. Kingpin, what about you? You change your gun or what you would wear and all this kind of good stuff? Change the time you go shooting?
I live in Maryland, so I don't have a
Oh,
carry
yeah.
permit.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
Thanks, Rick. I almost forgot for a second, and you had to bring it back up. I appreciate
Oh yeah, that was intentional too.
it.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. I was just going along the panel without even thinking.
But as far as like times I go to the range, my private range, I guess you could call it, is pretty much a summertime thing because you got to walk, a good 3 miles back into the woods, and if it's raining or snowing, you just don't want to have to go through that. But as far as my regular, every day, every week range, it doesn't matter. I've been out there with it 7 degrees below zero or 100 degrees. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh, okay. All right. And I know, blind shooter, that you're in New York now that Kingpin's woke me up. So, I mean, I know you don't carry.
Well, I don't carry a gun, but I'm trying to see if the police department will let me just, firemen carry one of those skinnier caps on my shoulder so that way they can shoot someone for me.
Yeah. But, did you do anything, change the times you do anything or changing what you're wearing? If you're, I know, I mean, are you allowed to carry a knife, right? In New York?
You can carry knives and you can carry pepper spray and nunchucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the right to keep and bear nunchucks now.
Yes.
Oh,
So worst comes to worst, I can just become a Ninja Turtle.
That's
I
right. That's right.
You got enough pizza places around there.
I didn't think about the range part, but that for me would be a yes and a no both, because if I want to shoot on the outdoor range like rifles, then I would go at 7 in the morning. I'd be there waiting for them to open the damn place. But handguns and rimfire stuff, I can go inside. It's not bad inside unless it's really flipping hot.
Yeah. When I went to an indoor range, the one I used to go to had AC in it. So it didn't matter what temperature it was outside. This is Rhode Island. Rhode Island got quite warm in the summertime, believe it or not. But the outdoor one, and the one I got here is outdoors, so I'll be going early in the morning. I might go in the evening as well if I decide to go shooting in the evening, because then I'll do some shooting, then I'll go fishing.
Can you go in the dark?
Yeah, I got a key to open the place up. But it's got no lights. Not that I can get, I mean, it has lights, but I can't get to them because they're locked up inside the clubhouse to turn the lights on outside.
Might be a good time to practice your carry with a gun with a light on it or a flashlight or whatever you're doing when you carry in the dark.
That's a good point. I never thought about that, to be honest with you.
See, I don't let the weather dictate when I go shooting. What dictates when I go shooting is when I have free time, which is not very often. So there have been plenty of times where I've gone to the range where it's sub-zero, gone to the range where it's raining, it's snowing, gone to the range at peak times where it's crowded and you got to wait, gone to the range when it's hot, gone to the range, you know, whatever. And it's like, if I want to go to the range, that's what I have to deal with. And for my answer earlier, if I sounded a bit defensive, it's because anytime somebody talks to me about open carry or concealed carry, I shouldn't say anytime. There's been plenty of times where somebody's talked to me about this before, and I have to preface it or at some point explain my answer with, I don't care what you do, because they immediately go, oh, he's anti-concealed carry, or he's anti this, or he's anti that. And it's like, usually when somebody says that, my response is, dude, I was concealed carrying a gun legally before you ever even shot a gun. So don't tell me about carrying a gun. I choose to open carry because I prefer to open carry. The gun that I carry is usually the gun that fits the holster, honestly. Yeah. It's not, you know, just like Night Strike says he has a hard time concealed carrying a full-size 1911, and I don't. But it's just a difference in you know, body
it's a difference
shape.
In laws.
Difference in laws, difference in body shape, and difference in preference. I know a lot of people that like to conceal carry something they can just drop in their pocket. The only thing is, those guns don't work so well for me. I carry a full-size gun because that's what I'm better with. Believe me, I would love to have a tiny little gun I can just drop in my pocket and it fits in my hand just right and everything else, but it just doesn't work out for me. So there's a difference with everybody. So whenever it comes to this open carry, concealed carry, or what do you carry, or do you change what you carry, or blah, 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 I have a tendency to just, too many times I've caught people that listen to what they want to hear and they don't listen to what I'm saying, or because they're so new to carrying a gun that they don't understand the difference or why or whatever. I mean, Rick, for you, changing out your gun because of the weather is what you do. That's your thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. As if anything, gives you a reason to have more guns, right? But for me, it's like, well, you know, which one's clean? Which one do I got ammo for? Which one's going to fit this holster? I don't really care. As long as I can hit the target with it, as long as I'm comfortable carrying it and shooting it, I don't really care which one of my handguns I carry that day.
Well, you know? Squid, don't get me wrong. I would love to be able to open carry my 1911 because I've got a nice leather holster for it, you know, to open carry with if I want. But the problem is, I can only open carry in South Carolina if I'm going hunting or fishing. I can't open carry any other time unless I'm on my own property.
Right. And you know, it's good that you're aware of the law and you know when and how and what you can do instead of just going out there and then you get in trouble, right?
Right.
You know, and you never know. The law may change at some point, or you may relocate, or
fingers
crossed. You know what the worst part is? Think about it like this. Let's say you move to a state that had, I don't know, constitutional carry or whatever. You could open or conceal carry anywhere, anytime, blah, 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 you know, within certain guidelines, right?
Right.
And you've been living there for years, and then suddenly some a-hole politician gets in power and they get the law changed, and you move there because they had constitutional carry and they take it away from you. That would be the worst.
That would be the worst.
Yeah. You know, it's just like, I mean, Rick, for you have to get a concealed carry permit to open carry in Indiana.
Yeah, we just
that's just the way. Yeah, it is. It is stupid, but that's the way the law is there. So you're obeying the law, like the rest of us. We try to obey the law.
Yeah.
And you know, whether we like it or not. So.
Yeah, but then again, back to the beginning of the thing, like you said, you go shoot when you can find the time. Well, as it was pointed out to me, I think it was today or yesterday, that I'm retired.
Yeah,
I can go when I want.
and I don't think I'm ever going to retire. I would love to. I would still stay active. I'd probably be busier staying home than being at a job. But I don't think I'm ever going to retire. So I'm never going to have that luxury. Well, that's my fault for making the choices I made in life.
Yeah. I told him I wasn't retired. I was disabled.
Well, whatever. But
he said you're medically retired.
Again, my range is my backyard, so if the weather is too unbearable, I'm not going to go outside and shoot. I'm going to go when it's cooler because personal preference, and it's like 15 steps out back.
And you know that lends itself to another problem, Night Strike. So my wife and I were looking at some property in Arizona, and we were thinking, oh, this wouldn't be a bad place to move to and settle down to. Then we come to find out, You can't shoot in your backyard there, even if you own 10 acres. It's like, wait a minute, this is Arizona. What the? And it's like, so
you have to live out in the county is the problem.
This was county. This is in the middle of nowhere, and somebody who lives out there said, yeah, you can't do it. They'll call the cops on you. And it's like, what? This is Arizona. So, it's another one of those.
That's weird. I've never heard that.
I had never heard it until recently too. And it was this particular area that I was looking in, and I was told you need to check county by county what you can do in certain areas and all that. Because like where I live in Michigan, I can't shoot in my backyard because I'm in the township. But if I go up north, and
I'm originally from Arizona. What area were you looking
at? Just north of Tucson.
That's why.
Not in the city. I'm talking about up by Globe, man. There ain't shit up there.
I know, and that's the reason why there ain't shit up there. And
there's compromise. That's it.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, let's get back on topic here. All right, because I want to. Well, we get back on topic. I want to answer. I said what I said about you carrying. I don't care if you carry or don't. But what I was going to say to you is, you said some days you go out carrying, some days you don't. What happens if the day that you don't is the day you get attacked?
I don't live my life like that. I just don't. I realize anything can happen at any time, but I just don't live my life like that. I'm not afraid. I mean, if somebody comes up behind me, and plugs me, I'm not going to know the difference. If somebody's facing me, I'm more concerned about who I'm with. Am I with my kids? And, that sort of thing. As far as like a physical attack, I don't care about that. Bring it. I've been waiting. It's been a long time since I've had a fist fight. I got a lot of aggression I'd love to let out. So I don't really care. But I'm not afraid. And I'm not saying, if you carry every day, you live in fear. But when I get in some of these debates with some people, the way they sound like they're afraid. I don't think it should be. And see, when I say that, people go, oh, he's against it then. No, I never said that. I just don't live in fear. I live in a fairly safe neighborhood. That doesn't mean things don't ever happen. They do. But there are people that would rather feed their drug habit than move their family to a nicer neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not one of those people. And as far as the most important thing for me is that I have the right. That I have the right to do it. If I choose to exercise that right or I don't choose to exercise that right, that's my choice, not yours. So don't worry about it. But when the choice is taken away from me, that's where I get steamed. That's why I'm all about the freedom thing. I want the freedom to either carry or not carry, and I don't need to explain to anybody why I am or I'm not. And that's the most important thing for me. And what you do is what you do. If we're together somewhere and you're like, hey, don't worry, I'm concealed carrying today. I'm not the least bit uncomfortable. Yeah, fine. But if you're like, nah, I left my gun at home. Okay, I don't care either way. It just doesn't. But I don't get up every day going, oh my goodness, somebody's going to attack me. I better not leave the house. I just don't. I don't live my life that way. There are certain things you can't stop. If somebody shoots at you from a rooftop while you're at a concert, okay, you're not stopping the bullet. Okay.
No, you're not.
That
is a good point.
I carry every day because I don't want to forget. It's that simple. When I get empty dress, I put the gun on as part of my clothing.
Yeah, it's like carrying a cell phone or your car keys. And when you don't take your cell phone somewhere and you realize you ain't got your phone and you can't call somebody if you need to, or text, or use your Google Maps or whatever, you do feel kind of naked. It's the same thing with a gun. I used to wear a gun every day in the military. Okay, it's not an unusual feeling for me. I don't care. It's like jumping from a manual transmission to an automatic transmission. I prefer
the military
manual,
is really allowed to open carry everywhere.
No, absolutely not. You do not open carry everywhere in the military. The guns are locked in the armory most of the time. The guns are locked up. People think you just walk around base with an M16. Oh, no. No, it is harder to open carry on a military base than it is out in town. But if you're the one that guards the ammunition, you're going to be open carrying. So.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why they had those shootings at like back there in Fort Hood years ago, because military don't carry.
Even when they do have MPs carrying and stuff like that, if you ever see them and they don't have a mag in the mag well, That doesn't mean they don't have loaded mags on them. The reason they don't do that is there's no chance of an ND if the gun isn't loaded. And you can go, yeah, but what if they need it? The odds of them needing it are really slim. The odds of an ND happening are not. I have dealt with more situations where we've had an accident because we were, and it's different when you're in a combat zone. When you're in a combat zone, and even then, there are accidents that happen. And people can say, well, that's just not right. That's not, okay. Dude, did you serve? No? Then shut up, because I'm just telling you, they err on the side of caution. There's a lot more safety in what we do, even though I've been, in training where we use live ammunition, and I mean, we're shooting all around each other. But as a civilian, oh hell no, I would not tolerate that. That's why I don't understand these training academies where they're saying, safety's for wimps, and we're going to have people shooting people that you don't know, that you showed up to class with that day, shooting behind your back. The hell you are, but the people I served with in the military, I lived with them. We all, did everything together. I trusted them with my life every day, day in out, day out, peacetime or wartime. So I didn't particularly like them shooting in my direction, but I had a lot more trust for them than some stranger. So, but yeah, if open carrying makes you feel better, it makes you feel better. Or if open carrying is your right and you're just exercising your right, you're exercising your right. I don't have a problem with that. But people have a problem with me saying that I don't live in fear or that I don't carry every day.
Yeah. All right. So, Tony, what's your thing on that? Do you said you carry every day just for you don't forget.
Right.
Yeah, that's basically what I do as well.
I can only open carry when I'm hunting, much like Night Strike, and then it's only a caliber I can hunt with.
Yeah. I mean, like lately, for the last month and a half, I haven't carried because I'm a resident of Indiana now, and all my non-resident permits aren't any good because I'm a resident of Indiana. They don't recognize them.
I'm not restricted by caliber, unlike Tony is.
FYI. Right. So it's weird. It is weird going out without putting my gun on. It really is. It's strange. I still feel naked when I go out, not because of fear, but because I've wore it for so many years, for the last 3 years, every day. Like I got my little 22 Magnum in my pocket right now while I'm sitting here.
But Rick, take a deep breath.
Why?
Because that's freedom. That's something you didn't have where you were before.
And I'd like to.
Did you see that email I sent you, Rick?
Yes, I did.
Last week. They're going overboard.
Yeah.
I'd like to see open and concealed carry coast to coast be the normal thing. No restrictions, no BS, just outright people doing it. If it became an average everyday thing, first off, crime would drop.
Oh yeah.
So, but what I'd like to see and what's really going to happen are two different things. I'm not into all this wishful thinking crap.
Yeah. I'm not, open carrying in the city is kind of, you're scared the shit out of people. But I think you should be able to carry concealed. If you're legally able and old enough to buy a gun, pass the background check, you should be able to concealed carry without any goddamn permit.
And see, Rick, I disagree with you. Open carry in the city should be encouraged.
I'm with Squibby on that one.
It was something for all of us to be walking into the restaurant there in Harrisburg. I mean, one of the guys had a damn rifle. Just leaned it against the wall. Nobody even batted an eye. And they're sitting down. We're all packing heat. It's all, there were a few concealed carry, but there were some open. And, we're just all sitting down at the table eating, food that they can't even get our orders right. But that's another problem. But still, it just, and nobody said, oh, I'm sorry, you can't come in here. Or would you mind putting these away? Or the police didn't show up. And the customers, they just looked, they got guns. And then they just went right back to talking. There's no big deal. If you make it an average everyday thing, people aren't going to be all scared. The people that go, don't show up to the rally with an AR-15 over your shoulder because you're going to scare the crap out of people. No. I want them to see me standing there. Here I am. I'm not a criminal. Look, I've got a gun. This is all legal. This is all cool. And guess what? I'm not hurting anybody. and it's an average everyday thing. Because criminals are not going to walk around with a gun in the open until they're ready to commit the crime. They're going to have that thing hidden for the element of surprise. That's part of being a criminal, is the element of surprise. So even if open carry was common, if people just started walking up and down the streets with rifles and they were all law-abiding citizens with guns that they had legally, and somebody goes, one of those could be a criminal, and he's not going to do anything until the moment that he or she is going to do something. And at that point, if there's enough people packing heat, they're not going to do it because they know they're not going to make it 3 feet into wherever area there is because, 4 or 5 out of every 10 people's got a gun on them. So, just
I
saying.
thought it was pretty cool at the rally. All the guys that did have the AR-15s and the big rifles with the extra long bayonets sticking off of them were the guys that all the kids ran up to and wanted to take pictures with.
And they weren't hurting anybody.
Oh, there you go.
The cops were cool with us, and that's not the first time I've dealt with law enforcement in a city where I'm open carrying or other people are open carrying, and law enforcement is there. They're for us. They're not there for, the 3 people with the, loose leaf paper saying guns kill people and, trying to make noise and nobody really pays attention to them. So I'm just saying, the more commonplace we make it, the less people are going to be afraid.
Oh, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but where I disagree with, it goes back to what I've always said. There's more of them that don't like it than like it. And you ain't going to change that.
No, you're not.
Some
people are just going to be the people that just they just want to hate, and they're just going to continue to hate, and you can't convince them otherwise.
Yeah, and
Look,
I think most of them live in cities, in big towns and cities.
look, the more they see somebody out there with a gun that ain't murdering babies, the more it might sink into some of them that it ain't the gun.
That, and plus, it's also funny how the ones that hate us are the ones that are preaching love and tolerance and let's all be friends.
Oh yeah. I don't think you could, even if they made it open carry, constitutional carry in New York City, you would still have more people freaking out than not, even though it was legal.
Well, I remember reading about a time, back in like the 1880s and 1890s, where most people did carry a gun in New York.
100% correct. Sadly.
And I looked at the newspapers, and people weren't dying in the streets because of gunshots. They were dying in the streets because they were poor, they were hungry, or because of they didn't have a home to live in. That's the only time they died.
So you've heard of 6.5 Creedmoor, right?
Oh God, here we go.
You know where Creedmoor comes from, right?
I plead the
Creedmoor's
fifth.
the name of a shooting match that they used to have on Long Island. They used to have shooting matches on Long Island. The Creedmoor match was a big deal. So yes, there was a time where you could have rifles out there and everybody was cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as civilization got more civilized, it become less and less.
You mean you came left to right?
Even though even though most people think of the OK Corral, heroes, but they were actually trying to confiscate guns.
That bit about people getting more civilized, I don't know, man. You look around today, and it doesn't seem like our society is nearly as civilized as it was.
Well, actually, we're not. I personally feel we're not that far off from anarchy. It's only because the law-abiding people like us who follow the law keep it that way. If it wasn't, there'd be total anarchy out there.
Rick, I am gonna split hairs with you on this whole. Well, look at as see how civilization progressed, and well, yes, civilization did progress but they also got less polite because, as we know, a polite society is an armed society.
Oh yeah,
So
I agree.
they traded their politeness for civilization, which means let's be a rude asshole to everyone.
Oh yeah, I agree. I remember one time. Oh, it had to be 20 years ago when I first got back here. I don't know what was I doing. No, when I was heading up, I was driving. Yeah, so it was 20 years ago. It had to be. Yeah, close to it anyway. I was driving from Georgia to Maine, and I stopped off in New York, just on the outs, not in the city, just on the outside of it. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I remember stopping somewhere and saying hi. I was in the store, and like in a gas station, I think it was. I was going in and getting me some snacks for my ride, whatever, and I said hi to somebody, and they go, "What the fuck do you want?" I thought, "Very nice, thank you."
Hey, you felt like you're at home in England.
Yeah, no, I can't do now, but they used to be very polite.
Let's make a comparison. So, this is what I'm thinking. You've lived most of your life in places where it's illegal to open carry a gun, right?
Correct.
And it's just not commonplace for somebody to do so. To have a gun, let alone try to get a carry permit, let alone open carry, let alone concealed carry, let alone anything. So for you, that's the way you've lived. It's not necessarily that you agree with it or disagree with it. That's what you're used to. Okay. I've lived in Michigan longer than any other place I've ever lived. Even though I'm a transplant from another place to here, and I've lived all over, like Night Strike, I've lived here longer than any other place I've lived. As long as I can remember, they've had a pistol registration in this state. I don't agree with it. However, it's not a big deal for me. Oh, why not? Oh, they're going to take your guns, blah, blah, blah. I've heard so much of that crap, it just makes me sick. Dude, they've had it here forever. They've had it here forever. They don't do anything with it. I'm not defending it. People mistake. See, this is another thing. I say something and then people hear what they want to hear. I'm not defending it, but I'm used to it. The same way Rick is used to people not open carrying a gun. So for you, it's a difficult concept to appreciate open carrying in a city. And for me, I don't really care too much about the pistol registration here because it's never been an issue. But that doesn't mean
Man, you got a lot of wind background noise there, Squib.
There's nothing. I'm on the roof now. Sheesh. Okay, and it doesn't mean, Rick, that you disagree with open carry, and that doesn't mean that I agree with handgun registration. It just means that's what we've gotten used to. Well, that's the problem with these people moving from places like California and New York and to places where there are freedom. They're used to not having this stuff, and they want to change the place they moved to into the place they left. Then why leave? I say the same thing about all the foreigners that come here to Detroit. They want to change this place into little Baghdad, and it's like, dude, why did you leave Baghdad then? I don't get it. So what you have to do, what all of us have to do, is if we relocate, we have to figure out how to get out of our comfort zone. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I don't agree with the pistol registration, but it's just not a big deal. It really isn't. So I would love to see us get constitutional carry before we got rid of the pistol registration here. One problem at a time. You can't do 15 things at once with the government. It just ain't going to happen. Okay? But for somebody else, that's just, oh no, I could never live there. It's so awful. But yet in their state, you can't open carry. And here you can. So, I mean, every place is different. Every place has got pluses and minuses. So that's why I would encourage you to just kind of open your mind a little bit and give it some time to get used to, and then you might see that it's not such a bad thing, even though it's taking you out of your comfort zone. It's taking you out of what you grew up with. It's taking you out of what you've always been exposed to, and that's not easy. People don't like change, right?
Yeah.
See, I personally have no problem with change. I'm waiting for the day when I can walk out and I know that there's like 10, 20 people with all different kinds of guns in the pocket, slung over the shoulder, anything they got.
Yeah. Oh, on gun channels, Dead Horse said historically registration leads to confiscation. So with good
No
cause,
shit, Dead Horse.
be
I know
concerned
that.
about that.
I know that. But that's usually what the first person says is, you live in a state that's just anti-gun. It's like, you're kidding, right? Where pro-gun is, like
Yeah, but
Angelina makes a patch that says that. Okay.
he says,
Uh,
let me
the
finish what he says.
it's
He
just
says not
never
to be
been an issue
concerned.
here. It's just never been an issue.
He said not to be concerned about this is how genocide happens. I'm sure a bunch of Jews thought out throughout history said, "Oh, sword registration is no big deal, gun registration no big deal."
They
I
still
was trying to make a comparison, and this is what happens.
They still
This is
think
what
that
happens
over
every
there.
time.
they still are largely anti-gun. Even after the fucking Holocaust, they're still anti-gun, a majority.
So that means they believed in what the Germans were preaching even back then.
I talked to one of my Jewish friends about this, and he says it's a cultural thing. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, because I know plenty of Jewish people that are actually in favor of gun ownership, and they come to me for advice, want to know what they can do to get their guns.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of the religion. I understand what the point he was saying. You start with something, and it's like we said.
right. But here's the thing: if they went with national gun registration, Rick, within a matter of years, they would confiscate the guns. We've had handgun registration in Michigan for decades, and they haven't done a damn thing with it. I'm not saying I like it. But there are a lot of other things that we could do here, put our resources towards, to make things better or make things stronger for the future, that I think take priority over something that's never been an issue.
But it could be.
No, never will be. I doubt it. I really do.
But
we're a pro-gun state.
I understand what you're saying too. Is all these Second Amendment issues, you're not going to be able to solve them all in one go. You got to do it a little bit at a
Right.
time.
The same way they're trying to take them away a little at a time, we got to get them back a little at a time. I would love to see us get them all back at once. It'd be great. It's just not going to happen. I'm not that naive. So if you've never had handgun registration, then it's just a big deal for you. It's so scary. I've had it since I've been legally able. Whatever. It's not really, but whatever. It is. Okay, but the thing is, I've had it since I've been able to legally own a gun. Well, actually, I was legally able to own a gun. I was living in, since I've been legally able to own a handgun, it's been the law of the land. Now, granted, I've lived in some other states since then, but it's just, like I said, they don't kick in doors at 5 a.m. here and take people's handguns because there's a registration. But that doesn't mean I like it. It just means it's not a big deal. It's like somebody living in a place with high taxes and they go, there's always been high taxes here, we just pay them. Okay, for me, that's a big deal. But for them, it's not, because they've always had it. So, Rick, the same thing. For you, seeing somebody open carry in the city, you're like, that's not a good idea. It's going to scare the crap out of people. But yet, where I live, it's not a big deal. It's like, okay, yeah, they're exercising their right.
Squib, while it's not a big deal to you because you've always had to deal with it, those that don't have to deal with it and it being shoved on them without any of their say, that'll piss people off.
I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be pissed off. I'm just saying that when people find out that there's a handgun registration in Michigan, they lose their mind. And it's like, you realize they've never used it against us. Oh, then you agree with it. No, I just don't care. Nobody cares. They really don't. Because it's not a thing. It's, so like I said, when I say this, people are just going to go, oh, he's anti-gun, or he believes in registration, or he wants to turn into stuff, or whatever you want to think about me. I don't care. Rick, I don't think that you don't agree with open carry. I just think that you're uncomfortable with something that you just haven't been around. That's all.
Oh, I know. I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But I mean, okay, let's. So you would have. I mean, so there would be no problem with a bunch of gun toting, open carrying through Detroit.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing.
No, come on. You're an open carry state.
There shouldn't be.
No, there shouldn't be. I'm telling you that the city police and the county sheriff, if they actually showed up, because they don't show up, will arrest you illegally there. Illegally. Yes, like in Florida. But you step across the border into one of the adjoining counties, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, Sean's saying I won't open carry my Performance Center 380EZ. Oh, yes, I will, because I'm getting the gold one. I'm going to be walking around like a pimp.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There you go, Rick.
When are you going to bling out the scooter?
Yeah, when you got to put bling on the scooter?
Oh,
He put rims on it for NRAM.
Did he?
Also, some heavy jumping suspension.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah,
I was gonna recommend he put one of those parachutes they've got for Cessnas, that in case it loses power and all that, because if you decide that you can go down those stairs, are you gonna try to like jump like Dukes of Hazzard next, or
Hey, I cleaned it when I got back because of all the rain and stuff.
He's got to paint it orange and then put the Confederate flag on it. So
I'm just saying that one day he's going to be like, oh yeah, I got this, and then he's going to wish he had a parachute because he was too high up.
Yeah, I tell you, that scared the shit out of me when I come flying up those steps. I know it was only 2 steps high, but for that scooter, that was a drop. Not only that is you got my fat ass sitting in it when it drops. I'm quite surprised it didn't break in half, to be honest with you.
Now, I walk around
America, not China.
I walk around part of the state capitol up there, and you wouldn't really have a problem accessing that with a scooter. But there are some capitol buildings, if you went to a rally out of state, where you got to get up some steps. So, yeah.
Not all of them are handicap accessible.
Well,
they're supposed to be, but
as you
difficult.
Yeah, but as you saw at the NRA, I do get up and walk around.
Right.
But that place was way too big for me to walk around. Like I'll walk around. Like here when I go down to the town and go around the Family Dollar, I walk around it. But I can't walk around Walmart because these super Walmarts are just too big. I can't make it from one end to the other. So.
Well, you got the Harley, damn it.
That's right. So, before I forget, before we carry on, the question for my prize on Saturday, email prize. And I got the old swag pack right here. This is a big one. It's got gun oil, got a lanyard, it's got a cup holder and patches and stickers and all kinds of good stuff. That's a heavy one. Actually, that's going to cost me some money. All right. The question was, this is email me at Rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com by 12 noon Eastern time Saturday. And the question was, in the movie Gran Torino, when Eastwood took the kid into the barber shop with Martin the barber, and he decides to teach the kid a lesson by saying, when you greet someone as an old Italian prick, you're liable to get your head blown off. What weapon did he use? Make and model. So that's the question. Get it to me by Saturday lunchtime, and you'll be in to win that swag pack there.
Now, that movie was supposed to take place in Detroit, but it would have been Hamtramck, but that's not what Hamtramck, Michigan looks like. There wouldn't have been a barber shop with an Italian guy with a shotgun, that's for sure.
So, all right, moving on. Actually, I'm going to try to go shooting tomorrow. Get up in the morning, go out. That's if I get up in time. I tell you what, this
damn retired guys.
Well, I've got into a rut. The cats wake me up at 7:00, so I get up and feed them, make my bed, then I lay back on top of the bed. right? 'Cause I just get in this rut. I just can't seem to get out of it lately. It's just, I don't know what it is. I need to get up. I need to, because what I'll say is, like I said, I'm going to go shooting tomorrow morning. Right? I'll get up, feed the cats, make my bed, and I say, I can always go tomorrow. You know? And before you know it, the week's gone by.
Do you have ammo?
Oh, I got tons of ammo. You know? I got loads of ammo. I make my own ammo. So, I got, besides my own reloading ammo, I got two of these boxes right here are full of ammo. So, oh, have you guys noticed there's no squeaking? Because I got a new chair. So,
And that's
Oh
why
my.
you got it easy.
Yeah.
Hey Rick, did
Yeah.
you ask your local FFL if they could order you that one with the gold trigger?
no, I haven't.
Okay, don't be surprised if they tell you that it's not available.
Oh, yes, I know, because wherever Sean's getting his from, he had to pre-order it. So I don't think they're producing them, or if they have, the distributors are just getting them out now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. So I mean, that performance center is a sweet looking gun, I tell you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I got to get out of this rut. So I got to start forcing myself to go out and do this stuff. You know, like I said, I got to go to town either tomorrow or Friday. This is the big town, the one that's 12, 13 miles away, because I got to go to the bank. And so, I got to get up and do that. So that's why I might drive over to the gun dealers there and ask him about
You know,
that.
Rick, I got an idea. Why don't I go to the range tomorrow and you can go to my crappy job for me?
Yeah, it would be nice. Oh, Sean Connery says a high voltage cattle prod would get you the proper motivation you need to place your pre-order, Rick. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what. I told you, pre-order me one. Front up the money, and, I'll pay you all back when it gets there. How's that work? So, anyway, that's just a little personal thing. I got to get out of this rut I'm in. It's pretty pitiful. I got to the point where, I'm putting things off because, as I said, I live out in the middle of nowhere. I said, on this street I live on, there's about 10 houses. And in the whole town, there can only be about 30 or 40 houses anyway. But the one street I live on has only got about 10 houses on it, and it's a dead end. Right down the end is a farm. So, I get up and say, why? I mean, I get what I got to get used to, I guess, is no matter where I go, I got to drive somewhere, and it's going to be more than like when I lived in Rhode Island. And I went out to breakfast every morning to Christina's. It was a mile up the street. Work, Walmart was 3.5 miles away from me. Everything was close. Here, it's spread out. I mean, I found, as I mentioned this last week, I found a great meat shop my cousin told me about. When I went down there, it was closed. But I found this is where farmers take their cattle, their personal cattle they use for themselves, have it slaughtered and cut up. So they still do that hanging beef there. But where I'm going is my cousin said, "Oh yeah, it's just down the road. Just go down the road here, turn right and follow that road." I'm thinking, okay, well I did that, and I'm on that road, and I'm following that road, and I'm following that road. Just down the road to her is 6 miles. To me, that's not just down the road, but I got to get used to that.
It's almost like it's the opposite of the Beverly Hillbillies. You're the city slicker that moved to the country, and you just can't deal with it.
That's right. That's what they used to call me when I was a kid, when I used to come and stay on the farm. That's what they used to call me years ago.
Well, Rick, you're going to have to deal with it now.
Yeah, I mean, do you understand that over yonder is actually directions?
Yeah.
Yes, it is actually directions.
Yeah, I'm figuring that one out.
As much as I don't agree with GoFundMe, should we start a GoFundMe to relocate you back to Rhode Island?
No, I'm good. I'm good. But I said I gotta get used to that. That no matter where I go, it's it's distance.
Well, luckily, I sent an email to Rick the other day about what's happening in Rhode Island. Apparently, they're starting to rebel against those gun laws.
See,
Yeah,
he leaves, and then everybody gets brave.
Yeah,
there's 4 towns now.
yeah. Take this for what it's worth, Rick. But you leave, and everybody finds their balls.
Now, Night Strike, what do you think that it's actually got any? You think it'll gain any momentum, or it's just too little, too late?
It sounds like from the way they did those laws, it sounds like it's a little, too late. But at least they're trying.
Oh yeah, they put up some gun laws this year that are unreal.
Better trying to do something than not.
Yeah.
But Squib, would you rather they just sit there and turn the other cheek?
I mean, I don't live there, so don't. What can I do? I can't do a damn thing. So
I mean, I don't live there either. I can't do a damn thing either. But at least they're doing something. It may not amount to anything, but at least they're doing something.
If I can do something and it's feasible, like driving all the way to Pennsylvania, then I will. And if it's not feasible or I can't do it, then I'm not. I will say this though. If you don't think that what you do in your state matters to somebody else, you're fooling yourself. Because if you represent the community bad in your state, you're telling all the states around you, you're giving them in the same sense that the state next door gets constitutional carry, your odds of getting constitutional carry just increased. If you have a bunch of people who have a concealed carry permit, but they break the law, or I don't know, you have a whole bunch of mass murders with firearms, or whatever it is. If you're a bad representation, in the same sense, your neighboring state can use that and go, see, we need to ban more stuff because next door they're doing, all the guns from Chicago are coming from Indiana, which we all know is BS, right? But see how easy they play that? So it can go both ways. So
Indiana can just forget it and getting any light from the West.
Well, no, but I'm just saying though that if your neighboring state has a bunch of problems, they can spill over. But if your neighboring state has a bunch of successes, that can spill over too. So anything that you can do in your state that will promote what we've been trying to do could end up helping other people. So so when I say there's nothing I can do for Rhode Island, it's because it's so far away. But what I do here in Michigan, if I carry myself as a responsible gun owner, that could spill over into Ohio and Indiana.
Well, I tell you what, that I'm a bad influence on Illinois because we take all our guns up there and sell them. Isn't that what they tell us, Tony? Talk to me, Tony.
Earth to Tony.
I bet you walked out to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Well,
I walked over the other side of the damn room to get DVDs.
What are you doing that for?
Because you guys are boring. I need something to occupy my time.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, our time's nearly up here anyway.
But,
So, Wednesday nights is an hour.
You're right. The horrendous fuckers in Indiana dump trucks ship their guns in here and just dump them at the border.
Right.
Yeah. So we're the bad guys.
Listen to their politicians, man. That's what they swear.
You guys got it all wrong. The Bloods and the Crips go and buy 500 AR-15s at the gun store down the street before their friend can rent out a book from the library down the street. Come on.
Oh, I got a good topic we can talk about on Saturday. Most of you same people are on my panel on Saturdays too. So give you this thing to think about. I brought this up in today's chat.
Uh-oh.
All right. When the other side says we want to get rid of all the weapons of war, they're basically talking about the AR-15. Well, if you take the military equivalent and change it, take the full auto off of it, make it a semi-auto, just like the AR-15, wouldn't it be the same gun?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when they say it's a weapon of war, they're not really lying, are they?
Every goddamn gun out there has been a weapon of war at some point.
That's
Yep.
the point. You know,
I've had people get mad at me. And they're usually people that have never served a day in the military. And they go, yeah, the AR-15, it's not a weapon of war, but the M16 is. There's a big difference. And I'm going, no, there really isn't. As a matter of fact, I'd rather have any of my AR-15s than the damn M16 they issued me.
That's where I was getting at, Square.
But here's the thing: nobody in a modern military in their right mind would want to go to war on the front lines where the enemy has full auto machine guns with a semi-automatic.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would. Because you hardly ever use full auto. You honestly hardly ever use. When it's selective fire, you hardly ever use it. But if you never served in the military, you don't know that. You just know what they show in the movies, which is not how we really do things.
Well, see, this was my question. Isn't it a weak argument to say, no, the AR-15 is not a weapon of war. It's the modern sporting rifle. I'm not disputing that.
I don't like the modern sporting rifle either. Here's the thing: weapon of war, not a weapon of war. Who gives a shit? Just let us have it. Period. Done. Next.
Ideally, we're supposed to be able to fight against our own fucking army, so we should be as well armed as they are.
And you have to realize a certain amount of modification has to be done to an AR-15 to even get it to remotely work like an M16. So it's not even worth it.
The only reason I would want an M16 over an AR-15 is if the M16 costs less money. Otherwise, no, because the damn thing jams on full auto and burst. It just does. And you hardly ever use that in combat. You have a machine gun or a squad automatic weapon as a support weapon for full auto fire.
So, gentlemen, we're going to stop it there. Think about this and come back with your arguments for or against what I just said. So, anyway, we're going to do that on Saturday. So, but before we go, let's go through the panel here for any shout-outs or plugs. We'll start with Tony.
I got nothing. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy the nice weather if you're getting it. If not, sorry.
All right. Squib.
Yeah, later.
All right. Night Strike.
Shall not be infringed.
Good man. Tuesday nights.
9 o'clock. Check out gum2.org.
Yes. The Kingpin.
Thanks for having me, Rick. Check out Dead Horse in the Gun Channel's morning show.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
That's right. Yes, the what you call it's back.
Early watch.
The early watch. Yes, Dead Horse is running it.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, if you watch it on gunchannels.com, it sounds better. The audio is top notch. The video is top notch. The information, there's secret information that you can't hear when you're watching on YouTube that you can hear when you're watching on Gun Channels. So don't watch YouTube, go to Gun Channels.
Yes. And they have chat on Gun Channels too. So, all right, Blind Shooter.
Don't ever apologize for being American. Catch us all later.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. All right, for everybody out there, I want to say thank you for stopping by on this Wednesday evening. And I'm not sure who's up next, i.e. 8 o'clock, but I know Never Enough Ammo's up at 9. So I want to say thank you all for being here, and I do appreciate you stopping by. It really means a lot to me. Keeps me going. Oh, yes, I got an email. We need to start promoting Every Second Matters, not just on the 2nd, but there's a great website. And if you got, and there's a website and it's free, and like any of your states that are doing anything Second Amendment related, you can post it on this website because it has all 50 states listed with their own little page where you can put stuff in there. So go check it out. I believe it's everysecondmatters.com. So
yes, it is.
There we go. So I want to say thank you for being here, and I'll see you all on Saturday at 3 p.m.